Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video, I wanted to take a look a little bit at the worldwide celebration and also a little bit about the global fatigue that I think is starting to set in from all the back-to-back celebrations, content, banners, unit drops, etc. I think for me, firstly, I did speak about part 1's content, and I think the change in style of content is adding a lot to this. A lot of the content's been focused on short, hard-hitting battles, but because of the huge damage spikes the game has received, a lot of the times these events just aren't feeling as impactful as they should be. They're feeling very gimmicky. You go in, you either burst the boss in 2 turns, or the boss bursts you in 1 by locking you in place. It's kind of how the content's feeling right now, and it's basically you have the new units, feels very easy. If you have older units, it tends to feel a little bit, kind of wonky and unfair. I think the content overall for the worldwide celebration has been okay. If I had to rank it out of 10, I'd probably say it's 6 out of 10. It's probably not my favorite worldwide celebration. I'm very biased, but Future Saga was, because obviously Trunks, Future Gohan, etc. But I think it's the format of the content, and I think it's also some crucial things that are missing. I think more sub-EZAs really could have helped a lot, just based on people's perceptions. I think as well missions for things like LGE, LGV would have really helped as well, and even missions for red zones. I think you throw in a couple of those, and I think the transition would have felt a bit better. It also would have given people a little bit more stones, and I do think we've been a bit short on stones this celebration, so it's definitely more a 6 out of 10 celebration for me. I don't think it's been bad. I think the units have been great overall. I think the content's been hit or miss, and I think they could have added a little bit more seasoning to the meal. A little bit more sub-EZAs, a little bit more this. But I think what's really contributing to how people are feeling is fatigue. I think it's just been very hard on Global. Although we knew about it, I think catching up to JP, getting Cell Max, getting UI Goku, getting Toppo, all in the space of basically a month and 2 weeks, and all that content as well that was being shoved in during that time, all the Blue Zone stages, all of the memorable battles, all of the missions, all of the IDBHs, all of the EZAs, has really kind of set in for Global. It's been a very, very hectic, long period. And then now you come to the worldwide celebration where you have 4 more premium units. I think people have been low on stones, especially the free-to-play part of the community, or the minor spenders, more like the dolphins, not the whales so much, that don't maybe actively spend so much. I think it's been a very big test on your stone reserves. I know I've felt it, especially as a free-to-play YouTuber and stuff like that. Trying to summon and get all these units and trying to work with them has been very difficult. But I think that's really what's settling in. And it's also this feeling of there's more to come. We still have Master Roshi that's got to somehow fit in somewhere. We still have the Tanabata banner that's got to somehow fit in somewhere. 10th anniversary starts for JP and us now very early on into next year. I think people are just feeling a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit stressed out on their stone reserves. And I think it's understandable to be a bit negative, especially when you're not getting the units for the celebration. I think it's just a really tough time from that perspective, and I do understand it. So I think it's a combination of both. I think the celebration could have been better. I think, like I said, it could have been raised another 2 points. I think they should have at least dropped another 60 stones in terms of content. We still would have been less than last year, but I think it was desperately needed. Just another multi somewhere through missions. I think the change in the Blue Zone missions and that to being skill orbs also has not been a good idea. I think it's not a good shift. I think it is quite evident to players as well that it's happening when we get pity on the banners, so it's feeling a little bit sneaky. And I think those type of changes just are wearing down on a community that's just been very overwhelmed lately and very back to back to back. So yeah, I think for me the celebration's been okay. I just think everything coming together, the way they've made some changes, has felt a bit negative. And yeah, I think they should improve on it. Definitely, I think they must revert the Blue Zone missions and stuff like that. I think it's just not a cool idea. And yeah, I think ultimately, hopefully part 3 brings some really good sub-EZAs, maybe some cool stone events, and hopefully we can get a little bit of a breather before going into like heroes and year end and things like that. But we'll see. But right now, I think that's just kind of what's happening and why the community is feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And I completely understand. But I'd love to hear what you guys think overall. How have you felt about the celebration? How are you feeling about everything back to back to back to back to back? And yeah, just let me know. But I'll see you guys next time. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. It's always my favorite part of these videos. But yeah, I am feeling a little bit fatigued. So, I can imagine everyone else is, because, I mean, it is a hectic time. It's a very, very intense time right now. But yeah, that's basically it for me. Thanks for watching. And as always, see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you think in the comments, please. It's going to be awesome.